When too many males target the same territory, it creates chaos and often leads to pandemonium, instability and casualties across multiple prides. The past few weeks have brought to light the far-reaching consequences of line warfare, creating a ripple effect that has disrupted the line dynamics in the north and the western sector of Sabi Sand. The Nkuhuma cubs that had been born in September, sired by the Plains Camp Coalition, sadly didn't make it. We only saw one cub and even didn't get a glimpse of the other litter. The loss of their cubs brought the Nkuhuma lionesses back into estrus, triggering widespread mating activities. All the adult lionesses participated, engaging not only with the Kambula males, but also with the Mantamali coalition and the Kruger male, who has recently formed an alliance with the southern Avoca male. On October 19, an elephant succumbed to natural causes in Chitwa, and after the herd paid their respects, the Nkuhuma Pride and the black dam male claimed the carcass. They were enjoying the feast for 2 days until all hell broke loose. On October 21st, the Kruger male had joined them, and things got pretty wild when 2 of the Kambula males arrived. While the black dam male wisely decided to take a hike, the Kruger male stood his ground. The bravery didn't pay off, and after a short stare down, he second-guessed his choice, and luckily for him, he got away with only minor scratches. On a positive note, the Nkuhumas were allowed back on the carcass, and even the young male was tolerated by the Kambulas. When they left the carcass, once again the mating activity kicked up a notch. The Nkuhuma youngsters and the adult lioness Pale Eyes moved on and linked up with the black dam male. For some reason, the lioness called Little Amber got into a squabble with K4 and was found later alone on a Nyala kill. All by herself, she must have stumbled upon the Mantamali males, with whom she got into a fight. Her eye was swollen badly, and her body language suggested that she wasn't there on her free will. A week later, her eye looked much better, and she was reunited with her pride on a waterbuck kill. The morning of November the 2nd, the Mantamali males found them and chased them off, which would set in motion the tragic events that followed. A day earlier, the Mantamali brothers were seen in company of 3 Imbali lionesses, but even though one of them was clearly interested in mating, the brothers left them during the course of the night to find the Nkuhumas the next morning and chase them off their waterbuck kill. The same morning, another Imbali lioness was mating with the Kambulas and followed them into Gijima, and an hour later, after this footage had been taken, she got ambushed and killed by the Nkuhuma Pride. She was one of the daughters of the S8 male, and her loss hits hard. Let's hope her sisters can navigate these turbulent times and raise their cubs safely, ensuring the Imbali male's legacy continues to thrive. While all of this was happening, 2 of the Kambula males had moved south into Londolozi and Malamala. They eventually got wind of their natal pride being busy hunting buffalo. The commotion not only attracted the Kambula males, but also the young Styx male, who came to investigate. After the kill had been successfully defended against the angry buffalo, some of the lionesses went after the Styx male and chased him off. But only a few minutes later they got robbed of their prize by their confident relatives. But the next day the tables turned and the Kambula males got chased off by the stronger Nzenga males. Early November, the brothers reunited, but only for a short time. 3 of them went back into Londolozi, leaving K4 alone in the north. This time it had consequences. On November 15, K4 was seen badly injured in Chitwa. According to Wild Earth, he was allegedly in a fight with the Mantamali males who roughed him up quite badly. Taking into account the injuries on the right side of his face, it looks like as if one male pinned him down while the other tore into his hind leg. Right now it looks really bad and very painful, and we can only hope that he didn't suffer any permanent damage. More to the point, he is lucky to be alive, but the injury clearly is a setback for the coalition. He is the driving force and the leader of the pack, and I hope he can count on his brothers to pull through. The good news are his brothers moved back north, and as of right now, they continue to mate with the Nkuhumas. The latest news are that he had moved from Chitwa to Arathusa, which is a good sign, so let's hope he finds his brothers soon. The western sector, dominated by the Plainscamp males, is home to 5 lion prides. Although the Mhangeni pride is the largest, they are not the strongest. The Ximunghwe pride, consisting of 2 lionesses and 2 cubs, is far more territorial and fiercely protective of their young. This resilience may stem from the leadership of the older lioness, who is the most experienced in the western sector. She has fought hard to reclaim the territory of her pride after many years of solitude and nomadic life. Despite their numbers, the Mhangeni pride struggled in a confrontation with the Ximunghwe pride in the latter part of October. In this fight, one of the male cubs got badly injured, and another male cub, which was the youngest, sadly got killed. We all were rooting for this little guy who had to fight every day for his place in the pride, especially since his mother died. But sadly, it wasn't meant to be, and it reminds us how tough the life of a lion cub is the moment it enters this world. The injured cub is doing better, and he even got involved in a recent buffalo hunt. It's also worth mentioning that since Tumbler spent a good amount of time with the Mhangenis, they hunt buffalo more often than they used to. We can only speculate what made him leave in the first place. But since he's back on his own, he struggles a bit to get regular meals. On one occasion, early November, he came across his daughters, who watched him from afar but decided to let him be. With his injury, it's hard for him to hunt by himself, which is most likely why he resorts to scavenging more often. But Tumbler is a survivor, and recent photos show that he is doing not so bad. Over the last couple of weeks, the Plainscamp males spent way less time in the north compared to previous months. Instead, they kept patrolling the west and spent a decent amount of time with their youngest offspring. Watching them was such a joy, and even though it was in the back of our minds that the odds were stacked against them, she gave us hope with every sighting of the little family. Maybe that's why it came as a shocking revelation that she had lost her cubs in a matter of 1 week. The circumstances which led to the tragic events had not been witnessed, and the individuals who got blamed made the suspect list based on their last known location. Londolozi put out a piece in which they named the Kruger and Southern Avoca male for being allegedly responsible for the loss of the first cub. What we know for sure, she suffered minor injuries, indicating that she put herself in danger to protect her cubs. In the aftermath, Singita reported that the Plains Camp males had chased the intruders out. Our hopes that all the cubs were able to run for cover were crushed the next day when only 2 cubs emerged, and as days went by, it became clear that she had lost one of her daughters. The other 2 cubs were most likely killed at the den when she was not around, which is based on footage, searching and calling for them after the fact. It was heartbreaking to watch her looking for her cubs until she realized that she had lost them too. In another piece Londolozi put out just recently, the Ximunghwe Pride got blamed, but I want to emphasize that there were no eyewitnesses either. As sad as the story may sound, but there's also hope for her to have another litter early next year. The Tsalala lioness is strong and incredibly resilient, and despite all odds, she did a phenomenal job in raising them to the age of 6 months. With all the turmoil and the overwhelming number of nomadic males in the area, it was astounding how well she handled it. And we can be certain that she will do everything in her power to succeed the next time. Last week she was seen mating with one of the Plains Camp males, which outlines her desire to become a mother again. As long as she is alive and well, there is hope that she can rebuild the legendary Tsalala Pride. The Kambula lioness K12 and her companion the young Styx male have set up camp in the neighboring territory in Londolozi and parts of Mala Mala. They formed a hunting party and were seen mating, but by mid-October she left him for a couple of days to seek out other opportunities, and one of the Nzenga was happy to serve. Even though she reunited with the young Styx male early November, we start to wonder how long this partnership will last. The ideal outcome many hope for is that she links up with the Tsalala lioness. Since neither of them has cubs, it would allow them to bond and form a connection, but as long as she has a partner in the young Styx male, this is not likely to happen. The Ntsevu Pride, who suffered greatly from an aggressive outbreak of mange and lost their 4 youngest cubs in the process, are getting better with the summer rains kicking in. In a recent turn of events, the Ntsevu lioness K6 was seen about a week ago in company of her 3 nephews, K3, K5 and K6. However, this get-together didn't last long and the 3 brothers have returned to the north. Also, the Ntsevu lioness, who suffered a severe hunting injury 2 months ago, seems to be doing well. The older cubs are a year old now, and K2 might give it another try to become a mother again. The subadults of the Kambula Pride are a year older, and some of them just turned 2 years old. They made a big step on their way to adulthood by getting actively involved in hunts, as we have seen in previous updates. Their mothers might come back into estrus in the next months, and some are already showing signs of being ready to mate. So let's hope the transition goes well, especially for the young males. Ridge-nosed youngsters who turn 3 years in January feel confident enough to go after buffalo, and this with extraordinary success. They spend a lot of time these days in the north and went as far as Skorro, which borders the Kruger National Park. They even got briefly separated by the end of October, and it was alleged that their fathers had chased them out of the west. We know they got chased by the Ximunghwe before, so it's not that far-fetched. We'll see what their next move will be, but right now the north is not a good place to be for young, unexperienced lions. The new coalition of Kruger and Southern Avoca male have decided the north is too crowded and moved further south into Londolozi. Especially the Southern Avoca male, who was forced into a solitary lifestyle, enjoys the company and looks so much better. For now they keep a low profile, so let's hope it stays that way. The Gijimas, on the other hand, they have their hands full with the Nkhulus. The two coalitions size each other up every chance they get. 3 prides with young cubs is a large responsibility, and so far they did not get intimidated by the numbers game. By mid-October they were seen in Kruger, and it's unclear what made them go this far south. However, when they returned they got challenged again, most likely by their neighbors, the Nkhulus. They managed to split them up, but a few days later they were reunited and no harm was done. However, the back and forth goes on, because a couple of days ago the Gijimas invaded Nkhulu territory again. But even though 2 Nkhulus also were in the area, they luckily didn't meet this time. The Gijima territory is quite large and they have to move a lot to protect their borders. They move mostly between the Ntsevu Pride, who has 11 cubs, and the Styx, who settled with their cubs in the adjacent area in Lion Sands. At least 2 litters were born into the Styx Pride, but the total number of cubs is still a mystery. Let's hope the choice to move further east pays out and may limit the risk to run in a confrontation with the Ntsevu Pride. Further east in Kirkmans, the Sandriver lionesses have also given birth at the end of September. For now, the cubs are still hidden at the den and weren't seen over the last couple of weeks. But in a surprising turn of events, 3 of the Sandriver lionesses were seen with one of the Nkhulus and 2 cubs on a nyala kill. What surprised us in this sighting was that the cubs were at least 5 to 6 months old, and it makes me wonder if these are the cubs we have seen late May. Other than that, mating continued throughout November, so it may still take a while until we see more cubs in the Sandriver Pride. The Nkuhuma males try to make their mark in Kruger. They persist in the Imbali males' territory, scent mark and make their voices heard. Mohawk has left his sons early October and was next seen back in the north on the boundary to Kruger. Then he vanished for a while and moved back south, where he reappeared early November. In the meantime, his sons were getting busy. Tsalala's son found a new girlfriend to mate with, which brought him some unwanted attention. The noise attracted 2 of the Imbali males, who are dominant over the Tsalala Pride. They were clearly not amused and decided to investigate. In the meantime, the mating pair must have gotten wind of them and hit the road as fast as they could, with the Imbali males in hot pursuit. Luckily, they didn't catch up on him and he got away with a warning. However, the two brothers seem to be determined to stay, and maybe with Mohawk back in the south, it works out for them. Their older cousin is happy with his new partner, the Talamati male. They are together for almost 6 months now, and maybe it's time to give the coalition a proper name. They cross the entire Sabi Sand from the north to the south and back. Right now they are down in Sabi hunting buffalo. Their success rate is astonishing, and for now we can only follow them wherever they go. In a surprising turn of events, a former friend of the Nkuhuma male returned to Sabi Sand. We'll see what he is going to do next, taking into account how crowded the north already is. Maybe he finds the Black Dam male, and we'll see another coalition in the making. I want to end this update with the lionesses who kept a low profile over the last couple of weeks, but nevertheless doing well. There is some speculation that one of the Othawa lionesses might be pregnant, and if so, it won't be long until we know for sure. So maybe we have some news on that front in the next update. The other lioness we haven't seen in a while is Tieyele. She was also mating mid-August and might be denning soon.